Welcome to NC Wine Snobs as we savor the world one sip at a time. In this episode of NC Wine Snobs on Vacation, we were on a cruise and we actually stopped in Charleston, South Carolina, stepped off the ship, and walked to Rusty Bull at Chucktown Brewery. Having just had lots of food on the cruise ship, we really didn't need a whole lot of food here, but we wanted something to go with beer, so the obvious choice was a pretzel. Since we didn't opt for a drink package on this particular cruise, we ended up going for 2 flights of beer at Rusty Bull. And our first flight, we had Bach Off, Tumbling Monk, Dance Naked, and Berry Stomp. So we'll start off with Bach Off.
It was a medium-bodied brown ale with vanilla and caramelized sugar notes to it. It was kind of the predominant flavors that we picked out of there. Next up was Tumbling Monk. You want to take that one?
Yeah, that one had some great dark chocolate flavor and some coffee notes, and it was extremely smooth. This was one of those dark beers that you kind of wonder, is it going to be bitter? But it was nice and smooth, and it had those nice dark chocolatey coffee notes to it.
Dance Naked was their IPA that we tried. Had a really nice light mouthfeel to it, some strong citrus flavors, and just the right amount of IPA hoppiness that you would expect from a good, juicy IPA.
And last up on this flight was Berry Stomp, which had wonderful berry flavor. It was a raspberry wheat beer, and it was fruit forward and quite nicely balanced, and had fresh fruit flavor to it. For the second flight, we had Suns Out, Juice, Saltwater Cerveza, and Fruit Ninja. And the Fruit Ninja is a seltzer rather than a beer.
Right. So, but going in the order that Sharon just said them in, Suns Out is a pale ale. Had a very light mouthfeel to it. Very, very drinkable. A little bit of a slight bitterness to it. Is very, very refreshing.
Now, Juice is an IPA and a little hazy. You can see in the picture there, it looks like orange juice. And it had a nice citrus flavor to it, some good hoppiness to round out the flavor, and there was also a little bit of sweetness.
Their Saltwater Cerveza is a Mexican lager. We found that, light, clean, refreshing, as you would expect a lager to be. Although we did find that had a little bit more hoppiness than we would tend to think of for a lager-style beer.
And then last up was that Fruit Ninja, which was the seltzer, and it had a nice strawberry, refreshing flavor to it. So what was your favorite?
My one bottle would be Tumbling Monk. I tend to gravitate more towards those darker beers. And I love those roasty, toasty flavors of the coffee and the chocolate and things along those lines. So, yeah, that'd be my one.
And I think I'd have to go with you on that one, too, because I found it to be an extremely smooth beer and not a whole lot of bitter dark chocolate and bitter coffee. It was definitely coffee. It was definitely dark chocolate, but it wasn't bitter. And I like that about it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on.